Hi, and welcome back to another how-to video. Today is a very special one, not just because we're doing something a little bit funky, but because it's also my mum's birthday. So we're going to make her strawberry and Prosecco cupcakes. Now, I'm not real sure whether she knows about them, but she will once this video goes out. So, first thing we need to do is a little bit of pre-prep. So what I've done is a handful of strawberries, and I've just soaked them in about a glass of Prosecco overnight. You don't have to do that, but I just feel that it's going to envelop all the flavours a little bit before we move on to this bit. But like I said, you don't have to do that, but it does help. So yeah, so at this stage, you want to turn your hob on, get a pan, and then we want to put those strawberries and that Prosecco into that pan. We also then want to pour another glass of Prosecco in, just to finish it off. And if you want, you can always just give it a little taste, because let's face it, you want to make sure it's pretty good. And it's 5 o'clock somewhere, isn't it? Pretty good. And then you want about 100 grams of sugar. Now, you want to leave that on a high heat until it starts to bubble. Then turn it down to a nice simmer, and just let it simmer for sort of anywhere from 20 to 25 minutes, and just let all the flavours develop. You want to cook off the alcohol itself, just so that you're left with the Prosecco flavour, and so that the strawberries and the sugar have all kind of like combined together, and then we can turn this into like a nice strawberry and Prosecco syrup. Right, once that's simmered nicely for about 25 minutes, we can move on to the next bit. So, what you want to do first is you want to remove the strawberries, and we can put them into our actual cake mix. Beautiful. Right. Then, the next thing you want to do is you want to take about 35 grams of a quick set gelatin packet, and still on the heat, put that into your Prosecco and strawberry mix, and just stir that in. Once that's all dissolved nicely, what we want to do is put that to one side and let it cool. Now, we need it to cool because this is going to go into our buttercream. So obviously, if you put that in too hot, it will just completely destroy the buttercream. So it needs to be nice and cool. So, yep, we'll put that to one side, and then we can start moving ahead with making the actual sponge mixes. Right, now for the cake mix. 200 grams of butter, 200 grams of caster sugar, now you want to mix them together for about 2 to 3 minutes until the butter and the sugar cream together, and then we can add the next bit of our ingredients. Lots of butter and sugar cream together nicely, and 2 eggs. Mix that together nicely. Then we want to add 200 grams of self-raising flour. Just make sure that all the cake mix is in the bowl. That together nicely. Once the flour has mixed in with the egg, the butter and the sugar, then we can add our strawberries. Now this is mixed together nicely, it's ready to go in our muffin cases. So all you want to do is get your muffin tray, put the cases in, and then just put a nice big spoonful in. This should make about 12, but if you want to put a little bit more in, you can make less. But yeah, that's it, ready to go. It's given it a nice sort of like pink colour to the cake mix, and you can see all the strawberry bits flowing through it. So it should give it a nice strawberry flavour to the actual sponge. So once they're in their cases, put the tray in the oven, medium heat, middle shelf, about 160 electric oven, and give it anywhere from sort of 15 to 20 minutes, but just keep one eye on it. And then once they're cooked, we can put them to one side, and now we can move on with making our buttercream mix. Right, now for the buttercream stage. You want 140 grams of butter and 280 grams of icing sugar. Put that all in together. And then you want to mix that up for a couple of minutes, quite slowly, until the butter and the icing sugar are mixed together. And that is pretty much your buttercream mix. Once the butter and the icing sugar have mixed together, then that's when you can add your flavourings. Now you can put in some colourings, you could put in vanilla essences and stuff like that. You can even chuck in maybe some cocoa powder or some orange flavouring if you wanted to give it a different flavour. So yeah, so once this butter and sugar cream together, then we can add our strawberry and Prosecco gelatine. Now this is the juice that was from our saucepan, and as you can see it has set quite nicely, which is great. It is nice and cool now. If it is still a little bit warm when you go to make this stage, just pop it in the fridge for a couple of minutes while this is mixing, and then when you get to the stage where the buttercream is ready, just stop the mixer or stop mixing, and then just give it a second to for this to cool. But yeah, so we'll cream this together, and then when we're ready, we can then start adding in our strawberry and Prosecco gelatin. Right, with the buttercream nearly ready, just stop the mixing, and then we can add our gelatine. So I'm just going to add it in sort of a spoonful at a time, and just slowly mix it in. Now the only reason I'm doing that is because I don't want to destroy the buttercream, because too many ingredients, it will go a bit funny, and you want it to have some firmness because you're going to pipe it onto the top of your cakes. So just spoon this in nice and slow. What you will notice is the consistency will change a little bit. Once you start to see it go too runny, just stop putting it in, because like I said, you want it to still have some firmness. But you'll also notice the colour should change because of the brightness of the mix that we're putting in. Yeah, and then once that's ready to go, we can pipe it on top of our cupcakes. Right, so once the buttercream's at a nice consistency, there you go, that's what you want. You want it to be nice and firm, and you don't want it to be too runny. So as you can see, it should hold its own when you put it on your cakes. So now what you want to do is scrape all this around, and then get this into a piping bag, and have it on top. If you don't have anything like that, don't worry, just use some spoons and just put a spoonful on top. But yeah, so we'll get all that into a bag, and then we'll come back when it's time to ice them. Basically what we want to do is when they come out of the oven, just give them plenty of time to cool down, because again, you don't want to put it, this on when the cakes are too warm, otherwise it will just melt the buttercream. So yeah, we'll come back when the cakes are cool and we're ready to pipe. Right, now the cakes are nice and cool, we can get on with piping on our buttercream. So, like I said, into a piping bag with a star nozzle, and just do whatever kind of pattern you want. Now, you want to make sure that you evenly ice them, so that each of your cakes get a nice even topping, and then that's it. They are pretty much ready to go. Now I think we can go a little bit better, so I'm just going to put a little strawberry on top. So just get a strawberry, cut it in half, and then I'm just going to fan it. Now basically you turn the half on its flat end, and just with a sharp knife gently cut little slits in, and then when you gently fan it out, you get like a nice little pattern. So I'm just going to put that on top, and there we go. Look at that, beautiful. There you go, strawberry and Prosecco cupcakes. And that's it. I hope my mum likes them. But that is now the end of the video. Thanks again all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Happy birthday, Mum.